To create a Java program, you would need to use an IDE. I'm using Apache NetBeans here. Feel free to use any IDE of your choice. The first step would be to create a new project by clicking on the new project icon. Make sure Java application option is selected and then click on the next button. Next, you would need to name the project. I'll name it basic program for now. Make sure to match the project name with the main class option and then click on the. Now the IDE creates a Java file for you, which is used to write all the Java code. In this case, it's called basic program, same name as the project name that was selected. This file is also open on the editor, which is on the right side, and it has some code that is already written for you. One way to learn how to write this code or how to create a program from scratch is to learn how to write this code from scratch. So what I'll do is I'll get rid of the code here and I'll try to write it from scratch. The first thing to create a program is to create a class, and the way we create a class is we add the words public class followed by the class name, which is the same name as the file name. So in this case, the class name will be basic program. You do not need to add any extension after this. What follows after the class name is just the opening curly braces and the closing curly braces. The opening curly braces signify the start of the class, and the ending curly braces signify the end of the class. All your code has to be written before this class or within the class, and none of the code should be written after the closing bracket of the class. Now within the class, we need to create a main method, which is created as public static void main with string brackets arguments. Now this is the standard way of creating a main method. You can memorize this by writing it a few times and then you'll be fine with writing it. Now it's always written within the class, so remember that. And again, the method also has a opening bracket and a closing bracket to signify where the method starts and where it ends. All your code has to be written within this method. Now, usually we start with writing statements, and statements are nothing but one line of code. So what happens here right now is I'll try to write system.out.println, which does nothing but print whatever you provided on the screen for the user. And notice it ends with a semicolon. Just like in English, when you write a sentence, you end it with a full stop. And coding, whenever you write a coding statement, you end it with a semicolon. Now in this case, I have written hello world. And if I run the program, I can see it prints hello world for me. If I create another statement with this is my first program, and I run the program again, you can now see along with hello world, it prints for me, this is my first program. Again, like I've mentioned, all the code that you write has to go within the method brackets. So if you write anything outside the method, it will not work. Now, one way to remember this is whenever you create a program, you need to first create a class. Within the class, you need to create a main method. And within the main method, you write your code, whatever code you want to write. One thing to remember is Java is case sensitive. That means capital letter is not the same as the small letter. So if I write capital M for main, in this case, it gave me an error on the fact that it couldn't find the main method because it was looking for a specific way that it should be written. So if I copy that and paste it and try to run it, you'll see that it works fine now. Now that's how you create a simple program. I'll show it to you one more time with another program. You follow the same steps. Make sure Java application is selected, give it a name, make sure the name matches the main class name. And at the end, if we get rid of all the comments and all the extra stuff from the file, you will notice it's the same as what we've written before. You have a class, which is called second program, same name as the project name. You have a main method, which is within the second program, which is within the class. And then within the main method, you have your statement, whatever code you want to write. Now, one thing to remember about main method is that main methods are basically the driver of your program. So it just like to drive a car, you need to be in the driver's seat. If there's no driver, you cannot drive the car. So similarly, if there's no main method, your program cannot run, or you cannot test your program. So I think that's it. And yeah, see you in the next one.